What's up, fam? How goes the lockdown? Social isolation. I've obviously haven't been posting videos. I haven't been working. I kind of got in the habit of doing it on my commute. But I've been working from home. I've been avoiding social media and news more than not because we all got to look out for our own mental health, especially during a freaking pandemic. Seriously, if you're getting anxious, just disconnect from it all and focus on some arts and crafts. You know, if you can find a place to go fishing, go for a walk, something like that, it's great. It's a little mini vacation. It's all about the state you put yourself in. And so I've actually been having a pretty good time. But it's time we talk about this. Why are we all doing social isolation right now? Why has the stock market lost a third of its value? Why is the whole freaking country being affected by this? Why do we need I think they're up to like $4.5 trillion stimulus package? Why is this all necessary? Why are you stuck in your home? One guy, Donald Trump. That it's all his fault. And I'm not being ironic, not being hyperbolic. This is all literally his fault. And we need to make that our message because it's true. Even now, it's not too late. If he nationalized the supply chain for everything necessary to where we could turn out hundreds of millions of tests in a week or two, which is totally possible. Like, we're a manufacturing powerhouse. We have the means, we just need the will, and he has the power as commander-in-chief under the Defense Production Act. He can do that. If he just nationalizes everything, turns out hundreds of millions of tests, has the National Guard doing drive-through testing all over the country, and everybody gets tested. If you test negative, you get a card, it's like a permit that lasts like a week or two, and you need to get retested. And as long as you have your permit, you can go out and about your normal life. You go back to work, life's back to normal, everything's rosy, beautiful. Because if you have enough testing, you can just quarantine the sick people instead of everybody. But since we don't have enough testing, you have to shut down everybody. Do you see how this works? It's really not complicated. It literally is all Trump's fault. He could have done this a month ago. You know, I called for this a month ago. Anybody should have been able to see how serious this was. I feel bad that it took me until a month ago to even realize it. Because if I'd looked at it 2 months ago, I would have been able to see it then. All it takes is to be like, oh, okay, so we have a virus that most people don't even know they have until they've been communicating and spreading it around for 2 weeks. Okay. And then when it does get serious, it has 10 to 100 times the fatality. Well, no. Oh, yeah, 100 times. Because Italy's at a 10% death rate. So it's 10 to 100 times more fatal than the flu. And you put those things together, and of course it's going to be serious. How could it not? That's a tough cookie to crack. Just knowing those facts, you should go, oh, shit. This is going to travel the whole world. We got to start preparing. But no, not only did they not take it seriously 2 months ago, and then a month ago, they're still not taking it seriously enough. I just saw an article. Apparently Trump was getting credit for using the Defense Production Act to have GM make ventilators. But if you read the article, he gave the order hours after GM announced they were going to make the ventilators anyway. It doesn't count, dude. You can't tell people to do things they're already going to do. GM was even like, yeah, that doesn't change our plans whatsoever because we were already doing that. So yeah, you're waiting for the free market to kick in and finally do its part, and then telling them to do it when they do it. That's not helpful. And yes, we need ventilators, but it's not the only thing we need. We also need tests. Massive, massive amounts of tests. I'm still talking. My mom has had a cough, which is, one of the symptoms. So she called her doctor, and her doctor said, no, it doesn't sound like you have it, just stay at home. Well, they're telling everybody this until it's serious. Why would they tell you that? In a pandemic, you want to test everybody who might even possibly have it so you can quarantine them. The only reason you would tell people something like that when they're presenting symptoms is because you don't have enough tests. We know they don't have enough tests. They still don't have enough fucking tests. I don't know how they could possibly not have enough tests, but they don't. This is how Trump is failing. And it's very importantly communicated clearly and correctly, and don't try to attack Trump for stupid things. People have been attacking Trump for talking about experimental medicines that might work. That's dumb, dude. Of course people want to grab on every hope they can. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, this drug may or may not work. Now, it needs to be mentioned that all of the drugs he's mentioning that show promise are only show promise if they're used early, before it becomes serious. You only know if you can only use it early, obviously, if you know you have it early. And you can't know you have it early when you're told to stay at home. You probably don't have it because they don't have enough tests. In order to use the drugs that are working, you need to have a mass testing program first, which we don't. So I really, really, really want y'all to go out there and tell everybody you possibly can how you liking your social isolation. Sucks, huh? Don't like the market crashing? Don't like all the hardship this is bringing? This is entirely because of Trump. He has the power to nationalize and just, bam, make everything we need, tests, and then we can go back to life. And he's not doing it because of the conservative. I mean, he was talking today about how, well, go check on Venezuela. Nationalization doesn't work. It does work in a crisis mode, dude. We nationalized everything during World War II, just like every other country did. There's a reason we have the Defense Production Act and emergency powers. Because in a crisis, you can't wait for Congress. This is why we have this, because of pandemics and emergencies and existential crises. Excuse me. Hopefully I don't have it. I'm coughing a little bit. Anyway, I often have a little cough because of other issues and allergies and stuff. So anyway, take care of your mental health. Don't get too wound up. But let's keep our messaging simple, powerful, to the point, and undeniably true, which this is. This entire fiasco is directly Trump's fault. Period. So